And welcome back to another exciting edition of the Cleaner Cast. Dewar, what's happening?
It's Friday. What can I say? It's
always a good day when it's Friday.
Yeah, for those up here, it's Remembrance Day, and down south, it's Veterans Day. So Thank you to
Happy Veterans Day.
Everyone that's served. I'm sure everyone knows someone, either direct family or just friend of a friend. Who knows? But thanks to all that. And we're ending off a cold snap here. I've had no desire to be outside because it's been in the negative double digits, and for Celsius that's a big deal. For Fahrenheit, we're in the negative single digits, and it's certainly not fun. But yeah, what have you got going on? I think you did something exciting this morning.
Yeah, exact opposite here. We are ending a hot snap. It's been about 80 degrees, 100% humidity. Just been awful.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday, tonight is a kind of a thunderstorm, and then it's going to bring on a cold front. Not your kind of cold front, but a cold front.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yesterday I thought, well, let me get the yard all straight before that hits. Mow it one more time, and hopefully the winter will carry me over to spring, and I won't have to look at that yard anymore.
There you go.
But it's got it looking good now. And then this morning, I was like, let's take the kids out before it gets cold. Bring them to the old alligator farm. I think the one we have here is actually one of the bigger. I think the biggest alligator park in Louisiana. It has like 150, 250 some odd alligators. Everywhere you look, there's an alligator. So pretty good park we got here.
Yeah.
It's a blast. Yeah. Got the, pet the lizards, all that good stuff. Pet the goats.
Yep. Goats are always a good thing. Yep.
Been a good week.
They can take care of your yard if you don't.
Yeah. That's I ought to think of some goats and have them kind of run around, and they'll take care of it for me. But yeah. Big episode today because our guest from episode 1 returns. We have a new John joining us on this one, though. So kind of a new guest, but, same guest, Stoner Car Care. So we'll be bringing up their ceramic and hybrid ceramic line. It's going to be fun. But let's get into some plugs, Dewar, because we're live on YouTube every Friday, 6 cents. We're available on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. I'm waiting on a few more reviews to come in before we do that giveaway that I talked about last week. I don't think we've had any more since last week. So be sure to go rate and review for me. Let me check here real quick while we're talking about it. It is, here we go. Nope, still sitting at 16 ratings at 20 ratings. I'll do that giveaway. And let's see if I still got the video for it right here. So we got some Shine Supply products, got some soap, got some trim sauce, got a nice hat. Can't beat a nice hat. Still in the packaging, keeping it nice and crisp for you. Got some work stuff brushes. And then last week's guest, Shine Your Light Detailing, we got his high gloss detail spray. So hit me up. Maybe we'll have to add to this giveaway like every week or something. Maybe this week I'll add a car care product.
More reasoning to leave a great review.
That's right. Well, there you go. Leave us that subscribe, rate, and review, and that's gonna. Oh, I got to get the plugs because you can find most of that at Car Supplies Warehouse. And the promo is The Cleaner 10 if you want to support the podcast. And I have the Cleaner Stash affiliate website promo, The Cleaner 10 as well. Oh no, I got that backwards. Car Supplies Warehouse is Jamie 10.
Okay.
Cleaner Stash is Cleaner 10. I need
we'll
to sync those
we'll get
up.
it one time. We'll get it.
I need to sync those up so it's easy. It's confusing.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's cool about all that in today's guest is you can find Stoner Car Care products on the Cleaner Stash at Car Supplies Warehouse at stonercarcare.com. And that's going to roll us into the Dewar Detailing News. Hit us with those hot Canadian.
Yeah. So we, our friends over at TOC Supplies are, you can use Buck UVW for 10% off and bringing in Glove Box, which is super exciting. Really, really excited for that. They got a new line, Maniac line, which I've never heard of, but it looks pretty cool. But yeah, looking forward to the Glove Box stuff. You can get your, your Glove Box RX stuff. I saw those Fred and the team were down at SEMA making some connections, talking, and I think they got some pretty neat stuff up your sleeves and up their sleeves, not my sleeves, not your sleeves. But yeah, certainly looking forward to that, and really excited for our guest today. For our Canadians up here, one of my favorite products, Invisible Glass. You can pick it up at your local Costco warehouse. Membership has its privileges, I'll say that much. But I know Carzilla has quite a bit of their stuff too. And that's Bucky VW gets you 5% off there. So for you Albertans out there, you save your tax. So yeah, I think we can bring on the start of the show.
There you go. You can't beat that Invisible Glass. I mean,
absolutely not. It's on. Honestly, I bought like a 4-pack of the aerosol cans, and I use it so much, and it just never goes away. It's like it's honestly the best stuff.
You get the dog slobber window or the kids with the peanut butter rubbing into the glass or whatever they do. But you got to nuke it, and the nuke is the Stoner's Invisible Glass.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Easy Clean Reach tool, I mean that's just next level.
It's a tag team right there. But yeah, let's roll into it. Everybody, this is John, a different John from episode 1, but John from Stoner Car Care. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, keep talking. I love when people talk about our babies. That's awesome. We love our Invisible Glass. It's been one of our best sellers for a long time, and just a really differentiated glass cleaner, we think.
Yeah. Hey, I brought you on episode 1 with Mr. John Crothers on because of my love for Invisible Glass. So I had to have him on, and that rolled into when y'all were debuting the ceramic glass coating, I believe, or had been out a couple months.
Yep.
I just got around to testing it out then, and I'm still testing it out because the ceramic glass coating is going 7 months strong in real-world durability through my testing on my YouTube channel. So, it's a fantastic product, and it's rolling on good. But I hear you tell me backstage that it's even been updated ever since. So what's going on with it?
Yeah, so we brought out that coating, actually launched at the last SEMA, and really launched with great success. But we're always looking at our products, just taking feedback from, people like yourself that do videos on it and how can we improve it. And just, a lot of us are car guys at work here, so we're just always coming up with stuff. And fortunately, we have a big R&D staff. We've got 3 PhD chemists. So, we've got to get something changed to. We can go to them and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. So one of the things we wanted to make it more hydrophobic. It has really good hydrophobic abilities now, but we wanted those contact angles of those beads to even sit higher, because the better those contact angles are, the better it flies off that windshield. So we just recently added another ingredient to that product to improve that. It's not a 50% improvement. We're always looking for, if it's a couple percent difference, we'll do it just to keep separating ourselves.
Yeah. Yes, so tremendous glass coating. I mean, that makes the self-cleaning easier as well. I find it super easy to clean my windshield, even if it's, caked on bugs. I have YouTube updates. A couple weeks ago, I did the last one. I mean, it just cleans right off. Just soap, wash it like normal, bam, super clean. And, we were driving through the rain today coming back from that alligator farm, and beads just phenomenal. Yeah. Just phenomenal product. But, that rolls into to SEMA. So y'all just did it this year's SEMA. How'd that go? Give us a little SEMA recap.
Good crowd. So SEMA is always a good event for us. It always seems like it's crowded. I did get the impression some exhibitors were maybe, just downplaying things a little bit. I think with, just getting over COVID and the economy and thing, I think companies were just subduing it a little more than they normally do. Usually everybody goes all out, 100% for SEMA. And we didn't really change anything, but I saw some of the other companies out there, some of the big boys, Ford and GM were not there in a big way like they usually are, which is disappointing. But, hey, we still had a great show. Still, the normal enthusiast was there having fun and enjoying it. It's always a blast to do that event.
Mm-hmm. Right. And they have the new West Wing, which is the detailing wing now. So is that y'all's first time in the new huge West Wing section?
We were actually there last year. We got in the first year that we opened that. Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. So we're hoping to stay there for forever. We're not going to move out of there if we don't have to.
Yeah, it's amazing how many companies they can squish in that giant hall. I mean, we were Dewar gave us a virtual tour of the map last or a couple weeks ago, and it was like we couldn't even see who. It was still a hunt virtually to find someone's booth.
Yeah, we weren't even there. I'm just looking on the map, and I'm gonna have to use a search. I'm like, oh, I couldn't imagine being there in person, trying to use the app on your phone and trying to find it. That'd be a nightmare. You almost gotta find it ahead of time.
I know one of our marketing guys, when we were setting up and he was running around doing things, and I think he put on like 8 or 9 miles on his.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You can walk a long distance over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Disney World of automotive.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. I think we're gonna try and go next year. I've never been before, but I think I'm aiming for next year to be my first
got to
season.
do it. Got to do it.
Yeah.
If you go once, you'll go back every year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need everybody to rate and review so we can get this podcast going a little bigger, badder.
Got to push it up the charts.
But John, give us a little backstory with you and Stoner. When did you start working for the company, and what is your specific role in the company?
I hate to show my age, but I've been with them for 25 years, a long time. But it's not really unusual. Our average employee here, I think, has like 14 years. So there's a lot of people here. I think we even have a guy in our warehouse that's been here 45 years, believe it or not. So, yeah, it's a good place to work. I've enjoyed it. I started the automotive aftermarket with Valvoline Oil, worked with them for about 10 years. And when I came to Stoner, they were just thinking about coming out to the consumer markets. We had been selling to the pros. Before that, we have the Manheim Auto Auction in our backyard, not too far from where we are. So that kind of got us in the automotive market a long, long time ago. Manheim Auto Auction is it may be the world's largest auto auction in Manheim, Pennsylvania. So we kind of got in that way, but they wanted to take their products out more to the consumer market. So that's what I came on board for 25 years ago to kind of get our products out in the brick and mortar stores and just grow our brand. So it's been fun. I mean, when I joined the company, Invisible Glass was, not real well known. And, everybody told me I don't really need another glass cleaner, but the product was so good. It just kind of got a life on its own. And, I tell the younger guys around here, it's so cool to see where it started and then where it goes, where it wasn't known before. Now I get on an airplane or, I'm walking at SEMA and people see my Invisible Glass, on my sleeve, and they're saying, I love that product. And it's just cool to hear that. I never get sick of it. It's like I mentioned when we started about my babies, it feels like it's, one of your kids. It's if somebody comes up and says, man, your kid is such a great, person. I like to hear that about Invisible Glass. It's like, we eat that up and it's cool, and we get lots of reviews, people telling us about that. And we like to share them within the company because that gets everybody psyched up from manufacturing and warehouse. We're trying to do a good thing here. We want to make good products that help people out, and we don't get sick of hearing about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the first podcast with Mr. Crothers, we had kind of discussed that Invisible Glass almost became its own brand. Like y'all have had to brand things not Stoner Car Care, but Invisible Glass, just to kind of get them in the Walmart. So that's just shows you how good that product was and took off. So that's crazy right there. Mm-hmm. But that rolls back to SEMA and unveiling the next, pro line ceramic, and that's the brand new Trim Shine ceramic. So we talked about the glass coating. Now you're rolling out the new one. There it is, the Trim Shine ceramic. So tell us a little bit about that and what we can expect from it.
Yeah, so when we got in the ceramic game last year with Invisible Glass, and it actually even started before that, I think probably 5-6 years ago, I remember going into a professional shop, a guy that did detailing. He did a lot of other accessories and things like that. And he was showing me ceramics. And, at that time, ceramics are really hard to work with. And, we had thought about getting in that game, but it was really just a pro game. And, we were going to do it for that, but we wanted something that could kind of be used by everybody. So we kept on playing around with ceramics, got the Invisible Glass out last year, and then we just did the trim this year. And And the trim was just something we wanted to get to after glass. Invisible glass is such a powerful product. That was kind of first. But trim, we thought we could do a great job with our ceramic with that. Leading up to SEMA, we actually even had some trim outside of our office. Our R&D guys are testing it at another location. We kind of just did our own test here at our office. So we had pieces of trim sitting outside for 2 years straight.
Oh, wow.
It's a funny but tragic story. We were going to bring those trim pieces to SEMA because we had kept them on. There were some other competitors' products, and this trim looked still black, and the deep shine to it was awesome. And they were sitting outside, and somebody stole them from our location. We literally had them tied down, zip tied to this picnic table outside, and we kept on going out there looking at it all excited. And then one day they disappeared, and we're in this industrial park, and nobody would own up to it, so we never found them again. But fortunately, we did videotape it along the way, took pictures, so we do have proof. Yeah, when we launched, somebody had written on a comment for this trim product, like, how do you guys know it lasts for 5 years? And you just launched it. How do you know that? It's like, well, we don't launch products, just wake up this morning and launch it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, always a lot of thought into it. I mean, it usually takes years. You got to do compatibility testing with the bottles and the labels, and there's a lot that goes into the packaging, different formulations that people probably just never think about. So when we get a product out to market, it's been played with for years probably, because that's just what it is.
Right.
Yeah, the invisible glass, glass coating just made sense that was going to be us first, entry into ceramic coatings, invisible glass coating. So completely makes sense. So after that, coming up with the trim coating, we're all just like, man, we're liking these coatings. Let's just keep pumping them out.
Yeah, and these are real professional grade ceramics. I mean, we all know this ceramic term gets thrown about. It's a little bit of a gray area. Yep. We kind of call the pro ceramics. It has to have polysiloxane. Okay, so that's a organic substance that we get. It's pretty rare. You get it out of one place in this globe, but it's almost like a varnish. It adds a coating. So, for example, the glass, it gives you that sacrificial layer to the glass. It hardens the glass, gives a 9H hardness, but it also makes it super hydrophobic. As far as trim, it really locks in and brings back that blackness. You'll see trim. We've all seen it. It gets weathered. It gets gray looking. It just ruins the appearance of your car or truck. But if you can bring back that color, and that's what our Trim Shine does. And on trim, it lasts longer. You may ask, well, why does it only last a year on glass? And we say a year plus with our glass because you have wiper blades that are causing a lot of that's causing friction and pressure across that coating. It eventually wears off. Side glass, rear glass, it'll certainly last more than a year. But we we try to be conservative. We don't want to be that company that throws out crazy numbers. Yeah, we'd rather under promise and over deliver. That's just what we do. So with our glass, we say a year. Trim, we're very comfortable saying 5+ years because you don't have a wiper blade going across it. And again, we've tested it and we've seen it ourselves how long it lasts. And again, if you go on top of our plant where we manufacture this stuff, you'd find trim stuff pieces on top of our roof that we expose to the sun and elements. We do stuff in the lab, but we also do real world stuff like, hey, let it outside for months, years, whatever. Just let's see what happens. Yeah. So that's a pro-grade ceramic. That's a polysiloxane. You can't necessarily put a polysiloxane in a trigger or aerosol because any air that hits it starts to cure right away. So it would clog an aerosol or a trigger. So that's where you go back down to the hybrid ceramic. And that's a little different. I'm probably getting in the weeds here, but that's good.
That's good. That's stuff that people don't often think about. So I think that's great.
And that rolls us right into the new hybrid ceramic line.
Too crazy with the chemistry of it, but I kind of get into it. I'm not a chemist. We have a bunch of them running around here, but I am one of these guys. I like to know how things work.
Exactly.
I'm just super curious. So with the hybrid ceramics, they have products. You'll see polysiloxane. It looks very similar to polysiloxane, but it's a different type of resin, if you will. They're still good, but they're not going to last years. So, for example, our invisible glass hybrid ceramic, that's a glass cleaner plus rain repellent. Really good rain repellent. It's going to last 4 months, not years. Our really pro grade will last a year plus. This will last 4 years. Again, very high contact angles, makes that rain beat up, fly off your windshield. For those who have never used a rain repellent, I really encourage you to do it because it's a difference maker, especially in a really heavy rainstorm. I always tell a story that happened to me within the past year. I'm driving down a highway and there was like buckets. If you ever been to an amusement park with your kids where they have that big bucket of water that dumps down, I was in a rainstorm like that, and a woman literally put the brakes on in the highway. And I'm doing 55 miles an hour. If I didn't have good rain repellent on my windshield, I would have slammed her. But I had great visibility. She obviously couldn't see, so that's why she stopped. But I had the visibility. I could slow down, go around her. So it's a lifesaver sometimes. We've had some studies that we've looked at. Actually, I think the University of Michigan did one where a good rain repellent really saves you about 25% your response time or quicker braking. So you will be able to, you're going to respond quicker when there's something in front of you, whether it's a stopped car, a deer runs out in front of you, maybe something bigger up there in Canada. I don't know.
It happens. It's a huge safety thing. I mean, especially up here with, and I've done it to friends and family's vehicles where you're putting a similar type product on there that, they just never tend to use it. I'm like, just try it. I'm not saying it eliminates your wipers altogether, but it makes it so much better. And all of them have been like, holy cow, why didn't I do this sooner? And it makes such a big difference, for us, especially because we get so many hot cold cycles where we get a lot of slushy, nasty bits when it warms up. And even that flying under windshield, and especially when people run out of washer fluid, it gets pretty spicy up here. So.
Yeah, for sure. My clients as well, like I'll have one replace their windshield or something. They call me immediately. We got to get that coating on there ASAP.
Jimmy, you crazy hurricanes down there. It's really helpful for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have some torrentials come through. But
so another hybrid ceramic is the Trim Shine ceramic. So our Trim Shine's been a super good product for us over the years too. We have an aerosol Trim Shine, we have a trigger Trim Shine. So now again, we're kind of increasing the durability where Trim Shine would last weeks, depending on the weather. This is going to last months, up to 4 months. Again, just giving you more durability. So that's kind of what's happening with a lot of products. The question is, well, which one do I use? Well, what kind of durability to use? And, going back to the invisible glass, some people say, well, which one do I get? Well, how often do you clean your glass? Some people will go out and clean their glass every week. That's just their thing. Well, then you're not worried about the durability necessarily. You can go with our Clean and Repel. It's really easy to apply, quicker to apply. But if you're one of those, hey, I want to put something on, I want to spend some time doing it, and then I don't want to think about it for a period of time. Well, then maybe go to hybrid ceramic or even the ceramic pro grade. But the Trim Shine, that's kind of the other one we've launched. The other hybrid ceramic we've launched is a detailer. Awesome product. Again, a funny story about that is one of our board members who happens to be the owner of our company, his father is on our board, and he came to us and said, I ran across a product I think you guys ought to take a look at. And he has a lot of cars, like our owner. His father's a big car guy. They just car collector. So he details all of his cars, and he was looking for something that could, he could walk out one bottle, do everything. And this is kind of that product. You can use it on your paint. You can use it inside on your dashboard. You could even use it on your glass. Rims, whatever. It's going to give a great shine to a lot of different surfaces, and it's very slick. It's a really slippery surface. When you're done, it's noticeable when you run your hand across it.
Extremely slick.
A product that we worked on for a while that benchmarked some other ones out there. And again, how can we improve it? We're really not a Me Too company. We're not always the first one with some of these new products, but when we do come out with it, I think it's different. because again, we're not just going to throw me too. And that's what I love about our capability of having these chemists that can work on this. And the other thing that we have going for us, we don't probably talk enough about, we have an automotive restoration shop we own too. And I had just had a conversation today about paints. I called Peter, who runs the place, and I said, hey, put Dave on the painter. I'm going to ask him some questions because I had a customer ask me about some stuff, and I didn't know the answer. But it's awesome that I can call a guy up that's been painting cars for 30 years and ask him a question, and you can't buy that. That's not PhD experience even. That's just good experience. Like I've been doing it, for 30 years. I know what the skinny is on paint and how to apply it and what the issues are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the new hybrid ceramic line, I'm sure, would be great maintenance items for after you apply the professional grade stuff. Would that be right?
Yeah, if you put a ceramic coating on your car, it's a great topper. Really, all of them are. So, it doesn't mean you can't use a hybrid ceramics if you already have a pro grade ceramic on your glass or your trim. You can use them as a topper. Yeah, especially with the Invisible Glass Ceramic Pro. If you start to maybe lose some of that hydrophobic, after a year or so, you could add a topper and get some more life out of it. I actually had a ceramic on my glass, ours, on for almost a year and a half, but I start to lose that hydrophobic, and I was using the hybrid ceramic as a topper.
Sure. Yeah, because even when you start to lose a little bit of the hydrophobicity, you still got that base layer of ceramic on there. It might not all be gone yet, so top it off with a little, like your new glass cleaner, and boom, back to life. Get a couple more months out of it, and good stuff. Do you already got anything about this pro ceramic hybrid ceramic line?
No, I think it just sounds wicked. I mean, it sounds like it's one of those products that does what it says it does, and it's not given unrealistic claims. They're pretty realistic, and kind of like you mentioned earlier, just under promise, over deliver. So I think it's a great line that I'm hoping
they're really
it's
not hard to apply anymore, Bucky. It's that 6 years ago, like I said, when I talked to the one professional guy, I walked away a little scared because he said it's a real art, and it did. It looked like if you didn't know what you're doing, you were going to run into some problems. But I think now, and that's another thing that we've done, is we brought in a carrier agent for the polysilazane that I bet most people don't know about. It came out of another industry, and that's the thing again with us formulating products. We can find some chemicals that maybe the normal guy in the automotive market wouldn't think about. So we brought this carrier agent that really makes that layering and it just lays on the surface a much better. So you don't have to get it like evened out real quickly. It gives you some time. The old stuff, you had to get on it really quick or you ran into some issues. This doesn't cure that fast that, you're sweating bullets trying to get it done. So it gives you some time to if you make a mistake, you still have time to kind of fix it.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, I love how it's simplified, even only in the past couple of years, even, how just coatings in general across the industry have gotten so much easier and so much more available to people. I think it's great.
Yeah, and one product you didn't bring up is the hybrid ceramic liquid wax. Mm-hmm. And one cool thing I saw about that is it's also oleophobic. So not too many oleophobic products out there. I think it'd be cool if Stoner maybe brought a professional grade oleophobic coating to the market. What do you think about that?
Yeah. That the other new product was our liquid wax with Never Wet. I don't know if you've heard the Never Wet, sure, seen the Never Wet technology. They're actually a local company, and they had a bunch of super hydrophobic technology. They were selling some fabric protectors, and they had some great videos. If you ever saw them, the guys jumping in mud puddles and with white sneakers. Yeah. So they're actually located minutes away from us, and they're a bunch of real smart chemists. And they said that, hey, we got this technology. I think our CEO went to church with one of the guys, and we just started talking. So we launched this new liquid wax using their Never Wet technology, kind of a partnership, and we're excited about that. It definitely beads up and has really long-lasting durability as well. So we're going to see where that goes. We made a small batch of that. If you almost like a craft brewing, we didn't. Sometimes we go full bore, but we're also going to do some things where, hey, let's make some smaller batches and get feedback. make improvements, from feedback that we hear out there. But that's a product we already got a lot of good feedback on, even from across the globe. Had some people use it. A guy that used it in Hong Kong was giving us some great feedback on that. So you never know where you're going to hear from.
Yeah, that's cool. Being open to bring in another company's technology, wrap it in with yours, and make kind of this hybrid product. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And, oleophobic, not a lot of people, it seems to be hard to mix into, your ceramic, but y'all can figure that out on a more professional coating, maybe a paint coating down the line, bring in Never Wet Again. That'd be phenomenal.
Well, we're working on a paint ceramic as well. I expect that to be out first quarter, just tweaking a little more, and we'll have that ready probably like I said, by the end of March. Maybe we can get back on and talk to you about that if we're done with it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that one as well. That's going to be killer. But, and I like how y'all took y'all's time with the ceramic line. Everybody was trying to rush and get their ceramic line out as fast as possible, 3 or 4 years ago, but y'all really took in your time. And you can tell each product is really good so far that I've tested, from the glass coating to the hybrid ceramic detailer. I mean, I was using it as a drying aid the other day, and I just sprayed some on an A-pillar and went to put my, to dry the top of the car, just kind of rest my hand on the A-pillar. And I mean, just about slid off the whole car. It's tremendously slick, really good drying aid, top off coatings, tremendous product. From
Jamie, you mentioned that that hybrid ceramic detailer. That's one of the things that we probably would recommend. And again, just from using it ourselves, when you apply it, one of the best ways to apply it is, hey, wash your car, don't dry it, but dry it with a detailer. Use your detailer as that drying aid. So you're kind of doing two things at once. It makes the job easier, and it actually makes that product cure into that paint a little better as well. It likes being wet, so. Yep. As you dry your car with that product, it's just a fabulous finish.
Yep, streak free. Even on glass. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Y'all killed it with the detailer. Really like it. I think hopefully I'll get that trim shine in the glass cleaner this week.
We'll get all these. We'll get some goodies out to you.
Yeah, we'll test it up. But phenomenal products. Dewar, got anything you want to chime in?
No, I'm excited for kind of how the growth is going. It's seems like a great line that's only getting better. And I mean, if I know invisible glass is kind of the staple. Let's see. I've used that in the aerosol trim shine, and I remember I was using trim shine, and it was such a good experience. And then it was perfect timing because I finished, the last bit of trim, and then the can was completely empty, and I was just kind of sad. So I'm like, I got to get more of this. It's really good stuff. That's just the aerosol stuff. I couldn't imagine the kind of the new reformulation. It's cool.
Yeah. And the other thing I should probably point out, guys, when you use a professional grade ceramic, you want to do some surface prep just because, it is a long term, like a varnish. So for example, the glass, it's again, not hard to do, but kind of a 3-step. We recommend you clean it with invisible glass, and that's taking off any dirt and so forth, and then strip the glass, which I don't know if you've had a chance to use that product. Again, this is a really cool product. And this glass stripper started as a product for Japan because they're super crazy about glass in Japan, really quality conscious. So we developed it for that market. And then after using it ourselves, we're like, you know what? I think people would love this product everywhere because after you strip the glass, it gets all the water spots off. It's pristine. I mean, you can see it's squeaky clean. The only issue when you have super clean glass, it sheets water. So if you did get that downpour rain, you couldn't see through it. It's because there's nothing holding up that rain. So that's why you have to add a ceramic or hybrid ceramic, some type of rain repellent. So clean it with a glass cleaner, strip it, and then you got everything off of that, and then you can lock it in with that professional grade. With the Trim Shine ceramic, we make a ceramic prep wash, and what that is a really strong car wash. It's not something you're going to use every week because it will strip wax off. So, but that's to get off the wax and polish and everything again, to let that ceramic really get cured in with that surface of the trim. So you just use our ceramic prep wash or something that's a strong car wash. And again, we sell it in a smaller bottle to make it more affordable. So it's a one-time, two-time use, and then apply that to Trim Shine ceramic, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and y'all just watched the coating prep wash, right? That was a SEMA release. Yep.
Yeah, that's just kind of. So it's not a whole lot. It doesn't take much, but again, it will strip that tough stuff that you wouldn't get off. A normal car wash is not meant to be super strong because you don't want to have to strip the wax every time. So it's just meant to clean that surface. But our prep wash it'll take off the wax. It's not going to hurt the clean.
Mm-hmm. Prep wash, maybe a little trim clean. Get that trim a little extra clean. Apply that trim new trim coating. You're going to be right on the money. Yeah. So we'll be testing out soon. So Mr. John, I think we're going to get into a little live chat Q&A. So Chad, if you got any questions for Stoner Car Care, you can start sending them on.
Yeah, I had a couple here. I'm going to just scroll back up to the top, and thought this one was interesting by Kimberly. Let's discuss windshield washer fluid additive.
Sure. Yeah. We have a windshield washer additive, small bottle. What's nice about it, if you buy, any windshield washer solvent, say up in Canada, 1 liter jug, gallon jug here in the States, you just pour it in and mix it up. And what I do, you can put it right into your reservoir of your car, but I tend to not let the reservoir run dry, so I'll mix it right into the gallon, and then I go fill my kid's car, my wife's car. I still have some left over, put it back on the shelf in the garage, and use it the next time. So I find it's easier just to put it in that gallon jug here in the States, and then I'm ready to go with it.
Well, then you make sure
that's the easiest way to add a rain repellent to your glass. Like if you're like, hey, I'm not really a car guy, I don't know what I'm doing, you just buy that small bottle, put it in your reservoir in the gallon, and it gives you pretty good rain repellency. It's not going to be the same as our ceramic, but for that person who's not really a car person, it does a great job.
Mm-hmm. Got another one here from your good friend Mike, our good friend Mike, I should say. How did the Stoner get its name?
That's a great question. It's not to do with something else that, when I go out to California, I always get a lot of chuckles about the Stoner name. Actually, it was from Paul Stoner. And this is a great story. We probably don't tell it enough, but Paul was an orphan, I think, by the time he was 13 or 14 years old. He grew up in the middle of farmland here in Quarryville, Pennsylvania. Worked himself up into a degree at Franklin and Marshall, which is a college that's close to us. He got a chemistry degree. Had a mentor that was in the tire business, actually, Jerome Road. Nobody else would know, but he was a local tire dealer. He kind of took Paul under his wing, helped him get into college and stuff. And then Paul came out of college with that chemistry degree, started working for a big company, but he missed home, came back to Quarryville, started his business. And he was kind of a mad scientist type guy. People would come to him and say, hey, Paul, I'm having this problem. One of our initial products, I think, was a wheel, almost like a penetrant lubricant. We still make it. It's called Skid. And this tire shop was trying to get tires off of wheels, and that helped with that process. But he made a lot of products. He was a hardworking guy. He eventually had a couple heart attacks, and his grandson came into the business and took over. But Paul's still known by the old timers in Quarryville as, when you ask him about him, he was just one of those guys that come into the local restaurant every day for lunch and hang out with the boys, talk to them, and then go back to work afterwards and work some long hours.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've always loved stories like that. Wasn't born with a whole lot, but he built the business up, and his grandson who took over really expanded the business. He's a big visionary type guy, and everybody here is incentivized. That's why I said we care about the products we make. From manufacturing to the warehouse, everybody, does better if we do better, and that means making good products.
Yeah, I love to hear that. Your employee kind of stay is like 15 years around there. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good
company.
Yep.
And we not so much a question, but a little bit of our friend David Boyce noticing the little Joe on the screen.
Yeah, so tell us about the Little Joe kind of collaboration.
Yeah, that's Little Joe's another great one. We bought that company, I guess, almost 5 years ago or so. And how that came to us was a distributor in Australia said, "Hey, John, can you look at this Little Joe air freshener line? It's air fresheners, and they've been trying to sell in the United States, and they just haven't had any luck. And I really didn't want to get in the air freshener business because I thought there was nothing new out there, And
Sure.
Everybody has a little tree in their car or whatever.
Yeah.
But I took a look at it, and I talked to some people here in the U.S., showed it to some people, and everybody loved it. Everybody kept on saying he's so cute.
Yep.
And and the story behind it's a fragrance that's impregnated in this polymer, and it comes out over time. It's not just a cardboard tree or something that flashes off real quick. So this fragrance actually comes out over time. They last for 45 days plus, and we know that for a fact because we actually had to test it for an online TV sales. We were selling to somebody, and they said, you can't say 45 days unless it's tested by an independent company. So we had to go out and find an independent lab. They tested it. And actually, we had them test it to 60 days. Again, we wanted to under-promise and over-deliver, so we knew it could go to 60, and we stopped there. But Little Joe is a great, fun character. He puts a smile on you. I always say, when he's sitting in your car vent, he's smiling back at you.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but, when you're having one of those days and you just go, you know what, I gotta chill out, relax, and smile like Little Joe. And now we have a little pup that looks like a balloon pup coming out with new fragrances and things. But it's a cool product, and again, it's differentiated. Goes back to, hey, we don't want to be the same as everybody else. We want to do something different. And they're made in Italy, which the first question I asked the owner at that time was, why are you making them in Italy? Everybody makes them in China. And he said, John, the best fragrances, perfumes, colognes, the fragrances come out of northern Italy and France. Right. So we're right in that place. So I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And plus, he didn't want his technology knocked off, getting them made in China. So he's continued to make them in Italy, and it's been a great addition to our business. The founder of that company is still with the company. He joined Stoner, and it's amazing. Although he's, from Europe, he's a great culture fit. We get along great. He was at SEMA. He was in our booth a lot of times. Good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Little Joes. You got the little dogs, little pups. Got Little Joe. Yeah. I like them. I like them a lot.
Got a USA Little Joe, so he's got a little USA flag. If you're patriotic like I am, and on Veterans Day, how can you not be?
Phenomenal. Mike has another question. How do you determine what type of bottle a coating goes in? Glass, plastic, aluminum?
Yeah, so the ceramics have to go in a glass bottle or aluminum. And glass is probably a little more economical than aluminum, especially at this time. But, we have to think about that. I have people that go, we'll just how hard is it? Just put this product in that. You really have to test. There's certain chemicals that are not compatible with different plastics. That your normal plastic bottle is either PET or if it's PVC or HDP. There's a lot of different plastics, and you use them. Some are not compatible with certain chemicals. Trigger sprayers, the dip tubes that go there. Again, I'm getting into the weeds probably, but that stuff. And I'm not the guy who does that kind of testing.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who says, "Come on, tech team, make this like right away. Slow down. We got to test it."
Yeah, exactly.
And I got to realize that, and I'm glad they do, because if you rush stuff out to market, there's stuff that happens. Like if you ever see, bottles on the shelf that, hey, that used to be a clear solution, but now it's brown. Well, it could have gotten some bacteria in it. Didn't have the right things that keep bugs from kind of multiplying in that, or maybe rust developed inside the can and you got some residue in there. Even metal cans, it's not every metal can's the same. Some have liners in it because of again, you're trying to prevent rust because a certain chemical might react with steel and rust quicker. So it's complicated.
Yes, here's one that stems from, we have a detailer kind of group chat on Instagram, and we kind of got in a little argument of how to correctly apply anti-fog. So my my application on my YouTube video, I did not buff off. I just applied and let it flash and kind of absorb.
Yeah.
And they argued that you buff off. So give us the step-by-step application for anti-fog and maybe end our Instagram argument.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard detailers say this. There's not one right way. You know,
Yeah.
there's a way to do it. So you know, I never want to be that guy. And there are guys that that are so full of themselves that they only say there's one way, and you have to do it that way. And I try not to be that car guy. I try not to be that old guy that's set in his ways, and because there's a lot of right ways to do stuff. So
Sure.
I like to use our reach and clean tool, because the problem with putting an anti-fog, you're doing it on the inside of the glass.
Yeah.
That's really hard to do it. You know, you lean in, your arms bent, and that's the problem. You don't get enough coverage usually because you miss spots. Because again, you're not a contortionist. You can't get down to the very bottom of the windshield. So what I like about our reach and clean tool allows me to get in. Now you got to use a separate cover just for that. Once you use it for the anti-fog, you don't want to go out and clean the rest of your glass with that. You got to keep them separated.
Okay, that's a good tip.
I'll apply it with our reach and clean tool, and I'll get great coverage. Yeah. And I can flip the cover over just to make sure I get any wetness out of the anti-fog. But that's how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
That's a good tip with a specific towel. I wonder, like if maybe you should use a brand new towel and then stick it. That's your anti-fog towel. Yeah, that's Jamie. You know this, Bucky. You probably know this, but keep your towel separated for the different jobs you're doing. That's a first mistake people do, especially with glass, because any residue. We make our glass cleaner, and we've had it tested, literally by a professor of glass science. They're out there, and we work with them. So our product has no residue in it, but you're going to introduce residue if you use something that, hey, I would just wax my car. I just put a detail. Now I'm scrubbing my glass. Well, guess what? You just smeared your glass. And you don't want that to happen. So you just don't want to mix products. Go get yourself a big bundle of microfibers, whether it's Costco or Car Supply Warehouse, somewhere that you can get a nice supply of them, get different colors even, so by their color coded. I like to color code them, so it's clear I'm not using that color on glass. That's right. Our listeners will go over to Car Supplies Warehouse and TOC Supplies and get them microfibers. And Kimberly asked, what's the longevity of anti-fog? Is it safe for tint?
Well, you're not going to use tint's not typically inside glass. You're putting tint on the outside glass, so tint's not an issue that you're dealing with an anti-fog. You want to make sure you don't touch the windshield. That's a mistake people, when you put an anti-fog on, if you touch that glass with your hand or something, you're going to take that coating off, and that's where you'll see spots you miss. I've seen that happen where somebody runs their hand across. I got this anti-fog on. Don't do that, because the coating can come off very easily.
That's a good tip too. Bucky, what you got next?
We got one from Tug R. Are the hybrid products available at any brick and mortar retailers?
Not yet. Now we will have them launching next year. You'll probably start to see them maybe the end of December, January. So look for them in brick and mortar, but you certainly get them online. They're available online and all your favorite places now. Our website, Car Supply Warehouse. Hopefully we'll have it soon, and other major online retailers. So yeah,
very cool. Then we got one more from Ryan Mulhern. Do glass cleaners like Invisible Glass weaken glass coatings? What's the best way to maintain a glass coating?
What's the best way to maintain a glass ceramic coating?
Yeah, I think, he wasn't specific on exactly which one, but I would imagine just
ceramic coating. Once you put that ceramic on, you still will get dirt on your windshield. I mean, it doesn't mean, no dirt ever gets on your windshield. So you would just treat it just like normal glass at that point. What you'll find, though, it cleans easier. Bugs won't stick as hard. You can probably wash it off with a hose easier than you could if you didn't have a ceramic coating. But typically you just treat it like it's a normal surface after you have that ceramic on, but it makes the job easier. I know I talked to a guy in the UK that was putting ceramics on trains because they get a lot of carbon deposits, like the electric trains over there. And one of the issues, they like to keep them clean in like places like Germany. So they put ceramics on some of these trains so the carbon can be cleaned a lot easier. And I thought that was wild. Even boats, I've heard, there's a lot of boats that get ceramic that protect the paint and make it easier to clean the stuff that gets on the boats while they're in the water, the muck and stuff.
Very, very cool.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up. Do we got anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think, again, I think SEMA was a good show for you guys. I saw a few things from the multitude of videos that were out, but I'm excited to try and get my hands on some of these products here.
Yep.
Yes. This invisible glass ceramic, I know you said some brick and mortar. I think it's going to be in Canadian Tire for sure. So get in there. It'll be in there probably the end of the year, early year. Walmart USA will also have it. And then we're hoping to get in some other retailers. We're waiting on some answers. They tend to make their decision months out.
Yeah, it goes back to that invisible glass branding. They seem to jump on those a little faster. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, that'll kind of wrap us up here. Chat, you did a good job asking all them questions. I think this was our liveliest chat yet. So
I think so. It's good to keep that up. I like it.
Great questions, everybody. I'm glad we could help out. And feel free to call us anytime on our customer service line, or reach out to us on our website. We like getting questions. Seriously, if you got, especially with glass and paint and trim, if you've got questions out there, just shoot us an email. We'll try to get it answered. If we don't have the knowledge inside, we'll run to our chemist or run to our automotive restoration shop and get the answers.
And boom, our dude Skylar back there hopping in. We're offering 15% off our site until Sunday night. If you'd like to try any of the products, use promo TheCleaner15. So there you go, chat.
It's a great roll into the plugs.
He's giving everything away. You know how that is.
Yep, Skylar just back there doing stuff.
That's a good buy, though. That's good.
It's good. Any savings is a good savings.
Absolutely.
Right. My recommendation: got to try the glass coating. It's a must try. Must try. But there you go. You can follow them at Stoner Car Care. I don't know if Skylar wants to jump on or anything and give us the plugs, but I think at Stoner Car Care kind of covers it all.
I think he's being shy.
Okay. Well, you can follow Mr. Dewar at Bucky VW. Dewar, what's the promo for Talk?
For TOC, it's Bucky VW. That gets 10% off. And again, for I think some of the stuff's up in Carzilla here, Bucky VW also gets you 5% off there. So
there you go.
Everybody, and take full advantage of the Stoner deal for the friends shopping there, and everyone have a fun and safe weekend.
Yep, that'll cover my plugs. The Stoner, The Cleaner 15. Go check it out. All the links are in the bio. John, it was an absolute pleasure having you on the cast. Thank you again.
Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it. Have a great weekend.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. So catch you later. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, we'll see you.